So sometimes we get stuck because we get in our own way. We get into this mindset or even this belief that everything has to be perfect, it has to be polished before you even take the first step. You have to show up as the expert. You have to show up as the everything is done so perfectly and so polished. And look at me, I've been doing this for so long and I've got it. I'm rocking and rolling. Versus the truth is, I'm learning how to do it. I may mess up. I'm going to have some bloopers, but I'm going to keep going. And I just went through this literally for 6 months. I was going to say two, but that would be a lie. 6 months where I got in my own way and I got stuck. And I made things harder than what they had to be. But here's the thing that I learned when I came to my senses is that I spent these last 6 months gaining great experience. I spent the last 6 months gaining information that I needed in order to get out of my own way so that I can then share to you how to get out of your own way. And so thinking that things had to be perfect and polished instead of just making progress halted me to lose 6 months. Now, I was stuck there for a moment. Let's be honest. I was stuck there like I just lost 6 months, but I really didn't. I gained experience and real life experience. And I learned a huge lesson about why we get stuck and how to get out of our own way. And I'm sharing this with you literally raw, coming out of one of my coaching sessions with my coach, because every coach needs a coach, just like every doctor needs a doctor, every lawyer needs a lawyer. You always need someone who's a sounding board, who's further along than you, that can see things in a different perspective, because you're down in the weeds. You can't always see it. But having someone who can see it from a different vantage point, a higher vantage point, and to help you talk through. So I'm coming off of that raw from my coaching session. And I realized that I need to just keep taking the next step. I need to keep just moving forward. And instead of getting stuck in, I lost all this time, to flip my focus to say, look what I've gained. If it had not been for those 6 months, I would have been caught up doing something that I really didn't want to do, the way that I really didn't want to do it, versus this is how I want to do it. This is the more simplistic way. This is how I'm going to maintain my momentum. This is how I'm going to sustain the system that we're following so that I continue moving forward and not get overwhelmed in doing something in a way that I thought I should do versus this feels more natural to do. I know I'm talking in circles, but this is raw and I'm processing it. And it feels good to see the lessons, experience the lessons, and then be able to take the time to get clear on what are my next steps. So why am I sharing this with you? One, because we're launching a brand new opportunity, videos, audios that will help women in their fifth decade get unstuck. Yep, we're going to launch it. I'm saying it, making it public. But then also sharing it with you because maybe there's an area in your life where you've been getting in your own way. Maybe there's an area that you've been stuck in and you've been swirling around and it's causing you frustration and you're feeling like time is passing by and you are like stuck, frozen, not moving forward. If that's you, I want you to know, one, you're not alone. Two, figure out why you are feeling the way that you are. Because when you answer the question, why am I feeling this way? Why am I swirling around? Where is this frustration coming from? More than likely, it's a story you're telling yourself about what you should do and how you should do it and what you think you need to have before you take the first step. That's what I did. And the should have, what I should have in place is not necessarily what you need in order to get started. Because when we say I should have this and I should have done that, I should have accomplished that, it's because we're telling a story from what somebody else has said. We're taking on somebody else's beliefs and we're thinking that we should have this. But the reality is, what you have right now to get started is enough. If it's about losing weight, maybe you want to lose that extra 20 pounds that you've been carrying around for the past 20 years. What you know now is enough to get started. Or maybe it's writing a book. Okay. You don't need to get some fancy editor. You don't need to get some fancy program to show you how to do a book or how to write a book or how to get started. What you know now is enough to take the first step. Or maybe it's about starting that business and you thinking, oh, I need to go get this certification, or I need to do this degree, or I need to take this class. What you know now is enough to take the first step. Not to say that all those other things aren't important, but what do you need right now? What is the bare necessity for you to take the first step? And then whatever that is, do that. Take that first step, because I guarantee you, once you take that first step, the next step will be clear as day, and you'll be gaining that momentum to take the next step and then the step after that. Because, see, sometimes we get in our own way because we think we should have all of these things in place so that we come out polished, perfect, like we the expert. But in reality, you are drawn more to those people who are raw, who are vulnerable, and who are authentic because they are relatable. Because you like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it and he don't even have X, Y, and Z, clearly I can join in the conversation. Clearly I can join in the game too. Right. But when we think that we're supposed to look like somebody who's been doing it for 30 years and they got all the resources and we just coming out the box with a new thing starting first on first base, why do we think that? At least that's what I used to think. I used to think that. I don't think that anymore, because that type of thinking gets you stuck. And here's what I need you to understand: time will continue to move, it will go by, and all those things that you should have had, that you should have done, that you wish you won't matter, because now you 10 years later still swirling around in the same messed up thinking. So put that aside, because that's stuck thinking. If you want to become unstoppable, that spiritually strong woman who knows who she is, knows her gifting, walking in her purpose, you have to take the first step, boo. Because if you don't take the first step, it'll never happen. Langston Hughes, that's a quote that I love by Langston Hughes. He says, if you want to start something and you want to complete, if you want to, do great things, take the first step and then take the next step until you finish it. And then you got it. Now, I totally paraphrased it, but that's what I learned from it. Take the first step, take the next step. If you want to get it finished, you got to start. So this is raw. I don't edit videos, by the way, but this is raw. I am just literally talking off the top of my head from the experience that I have with my coach, because I realized that I have spent 6 months getting in my own way. And now I flip that. I have spent the last 6 months gaining the experience and learning new content so that I can share it with you on how to go from being stuck to unstuck, gaining that momentum and becoming unstoppable. If that's you, boo, I want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Tell me what you think. And most importantly, take the time to process, where have you gotten in your own way and you felt stuck, frozen, unable to move forward. And now time has been passing by, and now you are sick and tired of being frozen and being stuck, getting in your own way, and what you're going to do about it. Right? Don't watch this video and give it a thumbs up and share without looking in the mirror and saying how it's valuable to you and what are you going to do about it. All right. Be blessed until the next video.